my little lady. She's gonna take me to the other side. I'm feeling nice, my little lady. She's gonna keep me moving on. I'm gonna run till I drop to the break of dawn. Never gonna stop, she's gonna treat me right. I'm feeling good, my little lady. She's gonna take me to the other side. You know I used to smoke too much, and you know I used to drink too much. Take a ride in my car, and you can get me high, high, high. You know I used to smoke too much, and you know I used to drink too much. Take a ride in my car, and we're gonna get real. Come on, baby. Let's take a ride. I don't know where we're gonna go, but first, let's dance. You know I used to smoke too much, and you know I used to drink too much. Take a ride in my car, and you can get me high, high, high. You know I used to smoke too much, and you know I used to drink too much. Take a ride in my car, and we're gonna get real. Oh.
Hi everyone, Dan here, and I just wanted to put a little snippet about AstroWorld and what we do because I want to start getting the word out because I think it's becoming more and more of a giant community, and I want to get the word out to some other people. So what we do at AstroWorld is we hold astrophotography chats on Wednesdays at 9 p.m. and Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And we just talk astrophotography. Wednesday's more of a techie kind of advanced intermediate, and Fridays is more of a newbie kind of thing. So if you want to check us out, and if you want to, hang out with some semi-decent people that like to go off the rails a little bit and have fun while they're doing it, come check us out at astroworldweb.com, and you can check out the schedule, and you can sign up for all the free giveaways that we do. We just gave away an Eagle 4 Pro, an Optilong filter kit, Charles Brackenstein's books, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So come to astroworldweb.com, hang out with us, have a good time, and as always, remember to keep imaging, keep educating, and clear skies. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Deborah, things are becoming intense. I ripped my jeans on your fence, hiding away from your man. Oh, it's a passion. Oh, tell a tale of 1,000 lonely days. Yeah, she's a real thing. Yeah, only I can make a change if you want to be together. It's so good to be together with you. If you want to be together. Deborah, I'm getting caught in the rain, and it is calling your name. Yes, I got no one to blame. let them see me. I don't care if you want to be together. It's so good to be together with you. If you want to be together. If you want to be together, it's so good to be together with you. If you want to be together, say you want to be together. I'm feeling really guilty, but it feels so bad. Yeah, so good to be together. Get we did it before, we can do it again. I'm tearing in my head, 'cause I don't know when so good. You want to be together. Yeah. It's so good to be together. Yeah, so damn good. If you want to be together, it's so good, it's so good, yeah. What the hell's wrong with my telescope now? Damn, what's wrong with this thing?
You're the lost Lone Ranger. Can I break this spell? You want things right, who I make you do things wrong. If I want that fine line, who I will always take the fall. If I just do them, watch it from the right. I sleep all day long, then I'm breathing through the night.
I wonder what it was that made me want you. She couldn't understand what made me hard.
She's climbing out my open window. I'm laying here alone and cold and gray. Yeah. So take another breath and come up for your oxygen. And now you wanna kiss the flesh and blood of every man. Every man. And when the
All right. Good evening, everybody. Wow, I forgot to change Jesse from Sean to Jesse.
Oh,
So
I got a
sorry.
new name tonight.
You're Sean. Oh, what's going on?
I
Welcome,
don't know if I'll
Jesse.
represent that well. He knows so much more than I.
You know, you don't give yourself enough credit. So just, You're good. Trust me. Yeah, Sean knows more than most. So that being said, he was on actually last night. He was on, not last night, Wednesday night, to
Nice.
kind of fill in a little bit and help out. Be the third member of the group because Eric is still not feeling too well. As you can see, Eric is not here tonight, but he may show up if he's feeling okay. But he is doing fine. He is doing well, and we wish him a speedy recovery, of course. So he's up and he's running around. He's on Facebook, so hopefully everything is good to go. So that being said, before we get into the sponsors, please, yes, thank you, Pete. Smash the like button. Actually, even the people that are on the show with us, Jesse, Pete, make sure you smash that like button too, because it counts. So
Smashing.
smash it. There
Smashed.
you go. 11. There you go. So go. Hold on. Is YouTube? Did you just? Yeah, YouTube almost spazzed out on me. So yeah, it really means a lot to hit that like button and let YouTube know that you actually like what we're doing, so they kind of spread the word out for us. So please, if you do like what we're doing, hit that like button, and if you really like what we're doing, go to our Patreon account and support us anywhere from $5 to $50 a month. You get perks, you get little shirts, you get hats, you get fun stuff, stickers. So go there and sign up and help support the show. It helps us build the show, get some time to kind of do things, build presentations and all that. So that being said, let's just go over the sponsors because Jesse, I actually I'm going to do this really quick. Layers and Pete. Actually, I'll just do me. I tried to set this up before the show. I just didn't have enough time. I don't like the sponsor thing when it's just sponsors and nobody looking at anything. I had everybody set up, but because last Wednesday I thought I was riding solo until 5 minutes before the show went on. So that being said, let's just go over the sponsors and everything real quick. So, our first sponsor tonight. Now, for those of you that are new to the show, welcome to the show. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us. We're talking about different types of telescopes tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we have sponsors that give us free stuff to give away to you as members and people watching the show. And you can sign up for these giveaways at www.astroworldweb.com. And you can go there and sign up, go into giveaways, and you can sign up for the 3 that we have going on now. So definitely go check it out. We are giving away a free Masters of PixInsight workshop tonight, and the next one is Masks Unmasked. They talk all about how to use masks, different types of masks, and it's really, really interesting. I find out new stuff every time I go, so definitely go check it out. But Woodland Hills gives us money to give to you, and we give away gift certificates all the time. Once a month, we give away gift certificates, and we give out some big ones towards the end of the year. So thank you to Farah and the people over at Woodland Hills. At our Red Giant level, we have Primaluce Lab, Camera Concepts, and Optolong. So thank you to those 3. Primaluce, we're working on a new giveaway, hopefully a giveaway for Neve. I don't know if we can swing it. So Tom, if you're watching, let's do something. It's going to be a lot of fun. Camera Concepts gives us cash again to give away to everybody for orders over there. And Optolong, it's going to be an interesting Neve with Optolong because we're going to be able to sell Optolong filters at Neve. So it's going to be a lot of fun on that. So hopefully they'll sign on with us as another member of another dealer for AstroWorld Telescopes. So thank you to them. On our Supergiant level, we have Masters of PixInsight and IP for AP. Both of them are really, really awesome tools for learning workflows, and not only in PixInsight, but also in Photoshop. And that's where IP for AP started, was in Photoshop. But again, Masters of Pix Insight. This month they're doing Masks Unmasked. More to come on that. You'll see a post on the AstroWorld, either Discord and Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, all that. So if you're not involved in any of those social media, go check it out. We also have member sponsors on Patreon and on YouTube. Patreon is the one that we're pushing as a group. YouTube does great, but Patreon does the show better. So for our Off the Rails members, thank you to Sean Nielsen and Bob D'Amato. Our Quasar members, the next level, John, Hassan, and Chris. Black Hole members, we have 6 now. We just got, and Tom, I got to give you a little Patreon icon. I'm sorry, but I didn't get a chance to do it, but you'll have one for next week. So Charity, George, Mike, Dave, Dan, and Tom, thank you so much. And Bob, Gideon, Deborah, and a Red Giant member. And a slew of main sequence. White Dwarf, you guys are awesome. Look at all these members. It's crazy. Protostar, unbelievable. Thank you so much for the support. Guests, we got some new guests. Next Wednesday, March 15th, we have Richard Wright coming, and he's going to be giving us a recap of Winter Star Party. He's got a lot of pictures. If you haven't seen it or aren't on any of the user groups out there, he took an amazing picture of Omega Centauri, which is just unbelievable. I'm sure he'll show that on the show, so you're not going to want to miss that. So go check it out. March 25th is a Saturday, and maybe Jesse can make it. It's a Saturday. Saturday afternoon, 2 p.m., we have Astro Stacey Downton from the UK is going to be on. So it's going to be a lot of fun having her. I've been trying to get her on the show for a year and a half, and it's finally happening. So looking really forward to that. I'm a personal big fan of hers. Not only, she's an awesome astrophotographer, but she likes the same Irish whiskey I do. So that's even better. So April 5th, we have Warren Keller, who is one of the masters of Pix Insight and one of the creators of IP for AP. He's going to be going over some workflows, tips, and tricks on Pix Insight. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch him. It's going to be his first time on solo, so you're not going to want to miss that. April 21st is the first time Pavel Kagas is going to be on from Moravian Instruments. Look at that chip on that camera. It's like the size of a credit card. It's ridiculous. This thing is huge, and you know what? He makes super cameras, and it's going to be great to find out a lot more about it. Moravian is a little bit out of my price range, but it's going to be awesome to find out what he has available for those high-end rigs, and that need those either larger pixels or bigger chip sizes to get that image circle all in there. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And coming in June, I finally got Helena from Helena's Astrophotography going to come on for her first time after school ends, because I believe she's still in high school. But she's going to be on. She is got such energy and such spunk on her channel. It's going to be a great source of energy to start off the summer. So that being said, don't forget to come check us out on our other social media platforms: Twitter, Twitch, Discord, Facebook, and Instagram. All right. So that being, wait, I see Eric in the mix. Hold on a second. Now I see him. Hold on. Let me switch over here. And Eric is here. If I could just get, all right, unexpected, Eric, but give me a second. I'll fix this. I can do this. My dad's got this awesome set of tools. He can fix this. And let's see. Eric, and one more thing, and there we go, and bam. And all the names are right. There you go.
What?
What?
I don't see it. I don't see me or anything, but it's all good.
No, you don't see that because it was set to 3, but
that's okay.
Give me
it's all
one
good.
second.
Hey, everybody.
I'll change this to the output, and now you'll see everybody.
There we go.
There he is. Hey, Eric. Good to see you.
How are you feeling, my friend? How you doing?
It's good. I'm getting better. Every day is a better day. So
excellent.
It's good.
Well, you must be eating Cheerios because you got the General Mills logo on, right?
Yeah. Well, to be honest, it's the only thing because total transparency, I'm walking around in pajamas.
Don't stand up and get your scope, all right? We don't need you to see you running around in underwear, all right?
So,
oh man, so
I wanted to throw something on.
Yeah, well, thank
we
you.
Appreciate this.
Appreciate the modesty. Don't want to be showing those guns,
Yeah,
hey,
I don't want to show up make anybody feel inadequate,
Oh, dude, I feel inadequate every day, man. I got no upper body strength. Don't worry, but I could kick the hell out of a football. I'll tell you that.
There you go. There you
go. Hey, I'm glad you showed up, man. You giving me a chance to let you know some new news about AstroWorld Telescopes. So that we became a dealer in Explore, Pegasus Astro, and Primaluce.
Yep.
Today I added Rainbow Astro. I spoke to Tolga, and we're in with Rainbow Astro. So yeah. So there we go. More to know on that. So just so everybody knows, if you want to order anything from us with those 4 vendors, all you gotta do is go right to the description of the video, and it has my business number on there, and the website's coming up, probably be up by the end of the month. But just so everybody knows,
exciting.
That was. Tell me them again, Dan, because I'm gonna write it down because I'm not gonna remember. But
okay, so for right now, I'm planning on it. If all goes well, we'll be planning a lot with Neef and getting more people. But right now, it's Explore, Primaluce, Pegasus, and Rainbow.
Excellent.
And absolutely no 50% discount. No.
Well, I definitely, because I need a new power box. So you just made my evening. So yeah, you'll be getting. Yes, I'll definitely be ordering.
You got it.
Nice.
Supporting AstroWorld Telescope, man. I'm really excited for you. I'm excited for AstroWorld Telescope, AstroWorld TV. It's a new chapter. This is awesome. This is some exciting stuff. You've put a lot of time, effort, and work into this opportunity, and I know you're going to make the best of it. And I'm just excited.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So, and I will promise everybody watching right now, I will promise everybody, and I'm saying this live, I promise you, I won't sell out. I won't do anything. This is still going to remain the same show that it's always been. Lots of fun, lots of information, and lots of just dead out honesty. So, I mean, and that's what we've always thrived on. That's what we've always been, and that's what we will continue to be. So don't be afraid about any of that.
That's what it is, man. That's not going to change.
Nope.
That's not going to change.
You can't change who you are, right?
That's it.
Indeed.
So yeah, a lot of off the rails. We're gonna keep doing, a lot of off the rails stuff. And you know what? It's Friday.
It is Friday.
The tree is gone. The tree is gone. I chopped that sucker down. Chopped it down.
So sad.
Threw it out the window. So it's Pete. How you doing there, my man?
Doing good, Mr. Eric. It's good to see you. I'm glad that you're on the show tonight. We missed you on Wednesday.
Yeah.
But when Dan told me what was going on, I'm going, wait a minute. My gracious me, you're too young to be going through that right now.
Yeah. So, but it's good. It's It's been an interesting experience. So I'm just gonna take every day. I take every day, as a blessing, and and just have and have a lot of fun, and just have a lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah,
Absolutely. That's the way to look at it, Eric.
Yep,
I mean,
for sure, for sure.
Yeah, man, it's a lot of fun. I mean, and I'm just so happy you're on, dude. I'm glad you're okay, and it's
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. They were saying I could have been this close to getting a pacemaker. So, but it's all good now. We're gonna just take everything day by day and just enjoy what I have, enjoy my blessings, and enjoy hanging out with my friends, here in the chat, and just it's time to get crazy, I don't want to be a downer. Let's just party.
Nice.
It's Friday.
Nice.
It's Friday.
Eric, let's put it this way. God didn't want you, and the devil was afraid you'd take over. So you've been granted a second lease on life.
There you go.
Lucy doesn't want none of this. Lucy does not want none of this. I'm not. Lucy doesn't want me coming down and taking over. So,
but everyone's saying glad you're getting better, Eric. So definitely glad you're up and running, and it wasn't the same without you. I had to pull Pete and Sean out of the woodwork. So
oh yeah,
yeah, oh yeah. like 2 minutes before the show, I thought I was going on alone because nobody was around.
Oh wow, yeah. Because trust me, I was still working off anesthesia.
It was no. I'm not saying it I get it.
I was
but, it was just like, I mean, I knew Pete was going to be there because he's pretty solid, And then Sean was like, "You need help?" I said, "Sure, come on." So it was me, Pete, and Sean. So
appreciate it, Dan. Thank you.
Eric?
Appreciate it.
The secret is wine. You got to drink wine. You have to start drinking wine, man. It's the red wine that's good for your heart. So that's the secret.
Good for it. Okay. All right. That's what Robin's trying to get me to do that a little more now. So I think
drink or run around the block?
Both.
That's funny.
Great.
Take your pick.
I'm telling you.
Oh, man.
Tonight we're going to be talking about different types of scopes, and this is something that I did about a year ago, I guess, on AstroWorld, and it's time to come back around and talk about different. I mean, Tarek's talking about my scope will never show up, and because it's all this is all the three, not main, but three most common types of telescopes: the refractor, the reflector, and the Schmidt. So those are the ones that we're going to be talking about tonight. So I got a little presentation set up, and let's pull that guy up real quick. And let's.
It's funny you should say that, Dan, because I always say that there's three kinds of scopes, but many types of scopes within those three kinds.
There is, and that is true, because if you think about it, a Dob is a reflector. So if you think about it, and if you think about it, like the whatchamacallit, the RCs are just kind of weird Schmidt Cassegrains, like these, like kind of.
What do you call them?
Catadioptric. Yep.
Catadioptric.
Yep.
There you go.
And the CDKs, the corrected Dalkirkins, are basically a combination of lenses with mirrors. So
yep.
What is that one? I have never heard of that one. Say that one again.
Yeah, it's a CDK.
A CD.
Corrected
a corrected Dalkirkin. Never heard of that.
Yeah.
Think of the plane.
They'll be talking about those.
Oh no, we're not going there, because if we could talk about that later. We're just going to talk about the basics. Again, this is a beginner's type thing. So if you're getting a CDK as your first scope, you need to check yourself in somewhere. Or you have just won the lotto and you just want to, buy stuff.
So you just want to buy stuff and just jump right into the deep end of the pool and just don't care.
Exactly.
This is more. I won the lottery and I'm just spending. I don't know how to use it, but I'm spending. And
but it's gonna be pretty and shiny,
I look good standing next to my observatory with my CDK, 17 and what kind of mount is that? I have no idea, but
but it costs $20,000. I don't know.
Okay.
Somebody over there that bet you they take some pretty pictures with it, but I show it okay.
But I don't know how to do it. I can take pictures of it, but not with it.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
There.
Here we go. We got maybe Joel Perez. Stand side of. Oh man, I'm people call me and I'm working something else. So I'm working with you guys. So I can't work with that guys. So, all right, here we go. Let's do a quick play and check it out. Oh, let's see if I could do some stuff here with the pictures real quick. And Peter and Jesse. Where's Jesse? There's Jesse. There we go.
Jesse.
There we go. I think that's everybody.
Yep.
We all on there?
Yeah, we're all in there. And then we'll just do the from beginning. There we go. And let me just do this because I want to see. I'm going to hide the presenter view. Okay, so we're talking about different types of telescopes tonight, and as you can see, I have the three main ones on the screen right now. I have your William Optics refractor. I have your Skywatcher reflector and a Celestron Schmidt in the background. So these are the ones that we're going to be talking about tonight, and it's says presented by Dan Higgins somewhere, but I don't know why it's missing.
It's behind all of our photos.
It's no, it's usually down here. But anyway, but it's presented by AstroWorld. It's presented by all of us. So we'll talk about that. We'll have a just like I like doing this with my presentations. I like to talk a little bit and then have a conversation about it with the groups. So if the three of you also, because I got both my monitors filled, if you guys could watch the chat for any questions as we go on, that'd be awesome. And all right, so let's talk about different types of scopes. Oh, there it is. Dan Higgins, you see, there it is. It just popped up. There we go. All right, so we're basically astrophotographers here, and some of us do visual, but either way, whether you're doing astrophotography or if you're doing visual observations, you want to use the right tool for the right job. Just like any other sport or anything, I always equate golf to things. You're not going to use a driver on a putting green. So there's a right tool for the right job. So each one of these types of one of those types of telescopes. Somebody's in heat, but
just hungry.
Hungry. Okay, but each one of these are used for different things, and some of them are more flexible than others. So there are different types. Like we said, the reflector is the black Skywatcher, and we'll go into each one in turn. Your refractor is the one that everyone's really kind of used to seeing, pretty much, is that regular one that looks like a telescope. And then you have the Canon. This is the Canon. So you got the regular telescope, you got the mortar, and you got the Canon. That's what I call them. So refractor, William Optics, right there. Nice refractor. Light comes in the front, comes out the back. Pretty simple. Made with glass only, as opposed to reflectors and Schmidts. Reflectors are made with mirrors, and Schmidts are made with a combination of two. So let's talk about refractors for a minute. One of the things with refractors is that's really good for the color balance of the refractors, at least in the apochromatic versions of them. And we'll talk the difference between achromat and apochromat. We'll talk a little bit about that in a second. The refractor, to me, and again, this is maybe somewhat biased, but a refractor to me is one of the most forgiving at medium focal lengths. You can kind of, get away with small focal lengths like under 400 or under 500. You get away with some guiding errors a little bit more because it's a wider field of view. Really good for deep sky and wide field. Not so suited for planetary. Lunar it's good for, but other than that, unless if you're really advanced in your photography, I do know a couple of people out there that do refractor planetary and get good results, but it's a lot rare. It's kind of like finding a buffalo head nickel. It's very, very rare to find somebody doing planetary with a refractor. So we'll talk about the better telescopes that are more suited for that a little bit later. Refractors, for the most part, have low maintenance. Most of the other telescopes have something called collimation, where you're going to have to do. Refractors do need to be collimated occasionally, but the times are way spread out. I have yet found that I've had 7 or 8 different refractors. I have yet to have to collimate a refractor of any of the ones that I've owned. Not to say that sometimes that there are issues with pinched optics and stuff like that, but if you start seeing some weird stuff in your stars, that's when you're going to want to bring it to somebody and get it, make sure that your elements are all aligned correctly. So we spoke about not really suited for planetary. We spoke about made from glass and not mirrors. Again, refractors are made from glass. However, the thing about refractors is, compared to their mirrored counterparts, they are a lot more expensive per inch. Okay. Now you see this Celestron right here, this 8-inch SCT, right? How much? And now I'll throw this out to the group. How much do you think that Schmidt costs? Retail. How much do you think it costs about an 8-inch Schmidt, guys?
An 8-inch Schmidt?
Yeah.
Sorry.
An 8-inch Schmidt's probably about 12 to 1400.
Okay. I'll take that. Now, let's talk about an 8-inch refractor. How much do you think that would cost?
8-inch refractor?
But besides needing a flatbed to tow it, I mean,
Exactly.
And having to go to the gym every day just to be able to lift it up and put it on top of that mount. Oh, I don't know, $6,000.
Yeah, so I would say a lot more than that.
Oh, it's a lot more than that. It would probably be.
I'm just throwing it. I don't even look at those. I don't even. They're out of my price range. They will always be.
Yeah, you're talking.
It'll be 30K.
30K?
Yeah.
There you go. 30K. There you go. That sounds more like it. So that just says, yeah. But they're huge. No one's going to carry around an 8-inch refractor. It's going to be like 12 feet long. It's going to be crazy. But that being said, they're a lot more expensive because of the correction of the lens, and it's all made out of glass, ground, and everything. It's really, really, it's a lot harder to make.
Mm-hmm.
So, apos versus acros. Okay. Let's talk about acros first. I know I listed it second, but let's talk about acros first. So, achromats. Okay. So, achromats usually are are telescopes less than 3 elements. So 2 or, usually 2, the doublets. Okay. And now what happens is, usually in the red and the blue wavelength, right? It only has 2 elements. So it gets the red and the blue wavelength to match at the focal plane. However, that leaves something. That leaves the green to be a little bit out of focus. And that creates something called chromatic aberration. Okay. Now it could be a different wavelength. It could be the blue. Like sometimes you get that they call violet fringing or blue fringe or something. Like when you're looking at the moon, you see the blue haze around the side. That's because you're looking through a doublet that hasn't been corrected well. And we're not talking about the doublets that are corrected well. There are doublets out there like the fluoride treated William Optics stuff and all that kinds. There is a couple of doublets out there that do a really, really good job when they're treated correctly to get rid of a lot of that chromatic aberration. However, from a normal definition, acros are doublets that only really are able to get 2 wavelengths of light to the focal plane, and the third wavelength is kind of just hanging out at the wrong rate. Now, once you get into triplets, you get into what's called the apochromat. And the apochromat is now it's color corrected with a lot less chromatic aberration because it adds a third element into the tube. Once that third element is entered, you can get that green or that outlier of the wavelength to come at the focal plane at the same place as the other two, so you don't have that color fringing anymore. So that's really the difference between there's something called super apos and semi apos, and there's so many other things going on out there, but that's really a layman's way of kind of to define the two. And if you want to know more about that, feel free to go check out my video on apos versus acros on YouTube. And we'll talk about when we get into the discussion, we'll talk about the little scandal that happened with the invention of the apochromat, which is pretty funny. But we spoke about chromatic aberration of what could happen when you have. Go.
Dan, real quick. We have a question from Charity. Question: is it much harder to make a reflector versus a refractor? Does that mean a refractor is more fragile and can be more easily damaged than a refractor? I'm saying, what can a reflector versus a reflector?
Well, let me start with the first part. Is the refractor harder to make than the reflector? And I would say yes. Refractors are made out of glass. Okay. Mirrors are ground and coated and whatever. There's still a process to do that, but that's why it's also a lot cheaper too, because they can mass produce those mirrors. Pete, does that make sense? Am I explaining that right?
Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't listening, Dan. What was the question?
No, it's all good. It's all good. The question was the difficulty to make the refractor versus the reflector. The refractor is a lot harder to make because it's blown glass as opposed to ground mirrors.
Exactly. And as you were saying is that with 8 POs, right, you've got 6 faces, right? Each glass has got 2 sides. So now you've got 6 sides that you're going to have to definitely do a lot of work on. And then once again, you're talking about, when you talk about refractors, Dan, you're going to tell is it airspace? Is it oil space? There's all these little nuances that go with it. But you're absolutely right. With the mirror, all you have is just that one face because you have the blank on the backside.
Yep. And they're really only grinding the top and then coating the top. That's all they're doing. The star facing point. You know what I mean? If you take a look at like a secondary, if you take the second, as a matter of fact, well, I'm not going to get it now, but I have a secondary in the closet of death. But you take a look at it, you take it out in the back of the end. It's just like a foggy piece of glass, if you think about it, with literally screws dug into it, and that's all it is, because they don't care about that backside. They just care about the reflectivity of the side that's facing the stars. And that's all they really care about. So all they're going to do is grind it, coat it, and, silverize it, and you're good.
Okay, I have a question, Dan. So doublets and achromatics. So I remember when I was first looking at, when I had done visual, I had a 6-inch reflector. And again, coming from visual astronomy and not having done it in a long time anyway, I mean, it was always the bigger, the better. So, trying to learn about refractors, and never had one that didn't come in a box from Sears. So, trying to learn about, the ones.
Tascos, yeah.
That's one, yeah. Task. I couldn't come up with a name, but I remember looking at the, like, okay, so we've got the achromatics and the apos, and then looking at the difference between the doublet and then the acro. So, what makes, if an achromatic has 2 lenses and a doublet has 2 lenses, what exactly are they doing with the doublet to make it quality enough that we can use it for astro imaging? And I remember seeing the aerospace and the oil space and the different types of glass, and my brain just about ready to pop. So where is I have a cheap dollar store telescope here that's not going to do much. Let's let the kids play with this one. And hey, I've got a good piece of equipment. So where is that change happening?
Okay, so with the doublet, let me just talk. The doublet and achromat, they're not interchangeable, but they're close to the same thing. Okay, now you're right. The coatings of the glass are what, and you know what the funny thing is, and I'm going to throw this out to the group as well. Many telescope or refractor makers now, if you take a look at their websites, they're not telling what type of glass that they're throwing in there anymore. Some say FPL 53, some say FCD 100, but there are others out there that don't even put anything out there. They just say fully coated ED glass or something like that. A lot of people aren't, because you know what? The layman person, and I know I'm going to get yelled at for saying this on the channel, isn't going to know the difference between an FPL 53 and an FCD 100.
I had no idea.
I mean,
no clue. When I was looking at them, no idea. And so, yeah, I was a layman and I had no idea. They could have, been like, this glass is really shiny, or this, or whatever. And I've been like, shiny.
You could see through this. It's glass.
Yeah.
but the whole thing is, I've imaged with FCD 1, FCD 100, FPL 53. And I forget what was before FPL 53. I forget what it was called. It's like, Pete, what was the one before that? FPL 3 or?
God.
Yeah, I know. I'm going back to Pete. Don't worry. Don't. But there are numbers of different types of glass, and I got to be honest with you. I mean, I am not a Bob Gendler. I am not a Adam Block. I am not, all these people that are super, Damian Peach. I am not. I can't really see the difference between the FCD1, FCD 100, and the FPL 53. I can't really. Maybe I'll see a little bit of it, but I don't know if it's worth the cost. That's something that everybody has to judge on their own, really. A lot of people may see differently than I do, but that's where I sit. But throw it out there. Anybody want to chime in on that?
Yeah, I mean, what you're saying is that like borosilicate glass and they're pushing now the development of optics, but when it really comes to optics, I think you've really kind of pushed it to the point where outside of adaptive optics now, you really can't do much more now when it comes to lenses. It's just, I think that it's kind of reached that particular point. Now, I could be wrong, and I've known to be wrong, but as I said, it's when it comes down to as you said, Dan, with apos and acros, you got one that's the doublet. It's a much cheaper design, and if you're going to be doing visual and you don't want to spend a lot of money, then you can go with a doublet. But if you're going to definitely get into astrophotography, AP work, you definitely want to go with an APO refractor. If you go that route,
you get yourself the triplet. If you don't want to mess with flatteners, get the quads. So.
And Dan, if you're talking about APOs, you might want to talk about the Petzvals designs as well. So
I believe it or not.
Oh, you got it. Okay. I don't
Hold
want
on. Hold on.
to.
Oh man, it didn't save.
Here we go.
It said needs a flattener, and I put in parentheses not a Petzl. So refractors suffer from one thing, and one of the things they suffer from is curvature. Just remember, Pete spoke about 6 sides of the glass. If you're in a triplet, you got 3 pieces of glass, 2 sides each, right? So, but the last one on the end, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, the crown part of it is curved, and it's kind of like looking through a fishbowl. Okay, now imagine this: you have your imaging chip, which is flat, right? And then you have a round ball in the front of your chip. Well, some pieces of the glass are going to be closer and further away to that chip, right? Because of the curvature of the glass. So now the stars on the outside towards that curve are going to be out of focus, right? So you need another piece of glass to combat that curvature of the crown part of the telescope design. So now you need something that's called a flattener. And what this does, it curves the light path so it makes everything hit the chip at the same focal plane. So your stars on all across the chip will be in focus. A little bit easier said than done, but that's the theory. So, all right. But like Pete said, the Petzl, which is a quad, has that other piece of glass in there. The 4th piece of glass has a 4th piece of glass in there to combat that curvature, so you won't need to do anything as far as curvature. The only thing you have to worry about is tilt, and we're not even going to get into that today. So that being said,
now what is
yep.
Sorry. So continuing on here with refractors, what is the end game as far as you? So you have the Petzl, the 4 element to help deal with the curvature. You don't have to have a flattener. What is the purpose of the quints, the 5 element? What is the main goal towards the 5 element? Why are they bringing out now the 5 element quints now? Because you corrected field curvature with the 4. What does that 5th piece of glass now give you?
I believe it gives you better chromatic aberration correction. Is that correct, Pete?
Yeah, that's what they say. But honestly, I'm thinking that is more of a marketing ploy. That how can we improve upon a mousetrap, right? So let's see, we've got the pencil design. Let's throw in another piece of glass, and we can charge now another 600, 700, or 1,000 K. That's kind of what I'm thinking is that it's more of a marketing ploy. But you're right, Dan. It's just to basically get you better chromic aberration. But I really think it's just a marketing ploy.
And,
At least that's my personal opinion.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Pete. Because you are the person that has the most experience in the field. But I just want to throw this out there that the more glass you enter into the image train, right?
Yep.
Doesn't it start to dim out the image a little bit? And it starts to kind of lower the reflectivity of it.
It's just kind of like, remember with the old days with the visual when you put a Barlow in, right? And you really want to decrease the magnification, but you remember how dark it got. Remember, it got real dark. And you're right, because once again, glass is a dense medium. So now you got that incoming photon, it's being bent. Then if it's going through airspace or an oil space, then it hits another piece of glass, it's being bent even more. And then it hits a 3rd piece. And then now if you got 5 pieces of glass, it's being bent more. So you're absolutely right. And then by the time it hits the sensor, you're absolutely right. It's got 5 different mediums that it's had to pass through to be able to actually land on that particular pixel.
It's kind of like the magic bullet that hit Kennedy and Connally 17 different times. But I mean, it's bing bang and all over the place. I mean, I've never had I'm not. I do have a Quinn. I do have a Quinn. It's over there, the 400. But you know, it works good. I mean, it's a good scope, but I don't know if and I don't know if it does anything better than my quad, my Red Cat. You know,
You know, it's interesting, Dan, is when you start talking about reflectors, there's a new type of medium that they're using. There's only one scope that's got it, but they're looking at using liquid mercury. And I've been
I
reading
heard
up.
that.
Have you heard that? It's going to be an interesting process. There's only one scope that has it, but I'm not going to divulge into that. But you're right. It's as you said, the coatings are very important when it comes to refractors. And once again, the coatings really kind of add to the cost because you're right. Depending upon the scope manufacturer and who the lens manufacturer is, the coatings are very, very, very important when it comes to refractors in glass.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just remembered how to pop out the chat on YouTube, so I was able to kind of. Now I have the chat in front of me. This is wonderful. Anyway, but yeah, so believe it or not, we're 50 minutes in. We've only talked about the first type of telescope. So let's move on because we got a bunch of stuff to go through. So now we got the reflector or Newtonian or Dobsonian or whatever. So the reflector basically is two mirrors, right? You got a large primary mirror at the bottom down here, right? And then you got a smaller secondary mirror right here, which angles your light path to the eyepiece here, right? So very limited chromatic aberration, not so much, depending on the object. You have, you might have, unless if it's a inferior coating of the mirror, you can get that violet fringing on it. So you definitely, this is, I believe this is a Quattro, this Skywatcher. So, you spend the money on a Quattro, you're not going to have the CA that you would have, let's say, if you bought another inferior scope from like Jesse's Sears telescope that she was talking about before. But we spoke about it. It's made it with mirrors instead of lenses, which makes it cheaper. It makes it a lot cheaper compared to its glass-made refractor counterparts. Just like we spoke about an 8-inch refractor versus an 8-inch Schmidt, it also applies to an 8-inch Newt or reflector. So because they're made out of mirrors and they're only working with one side and they're mass producing the mirrors, it makes the price lower. Not to mention the fact that this is a hollow aluminum tube. You know what I mean? It's not an enclosed.
Later.
Yeah.
It's a lot lighter weight too.
A lot lighter. An 8-inch Newt and an 8-inch refractor, one you could carry on your shoulder, the other one you need a truck. So I mean, so that being said, but because they're made out of mirrors, you tend to get a better focal ratio on most reflectors, which means that for us astrophotographers, it makes it what we call a faster telescope, which means you're able to gather the photons at a quicker speed, which makes your imaging exposure less. Just be careful when you start breaking that F3-ish barrier. If you start going to that speed, you may need specialized filters and other things. So that's stuff you want to kind of be aware of. Most reflectors have a medium to long focal length, and what I mean by that is usually anywhere between 500 millimeters and 1200 millimeters for your regular run-of-the-mill Newtonian. I'm not talking about the Dobbs that are, you got to go on a ladder to see in the eyepiece. But, for your regular imaging 10-inch reflectors, 8-inch reflectors, you're talking somewhere between 7 and 1200 millimeters in focal length. So you're able to get a decent resolution with a faster telescope, so you can get those images a lot quicker. There is some maintenance with it. Like I said before, collimation. Collimation is not as bad as everybody thinks. I don't want to touch the mirror. I'm not touching it. You know, we're astrophotographers, most of us, but it's not bad. You get a laser, you take the laser, you put it in the eyepiece, you rack it in there, and you aim it, and it goes right to the mirror. Hopefully your mirror has a little donut sticker or marking on the bottom. Make sure that laser is in the center of that. Then you do your primary. You go on the other side and do it. It can take you about 10 minutes. If you get used to it, a couple of minutes max. I mean, it's really not difficult. So if you're able to do it, do it. How do you collimate a Petzl? I would not. I would send it in. I would not do it. I wouldn't. As a matter of fact, I won't do any refractor on my own. I just won't. Even though I know a lot of people that do it, I just won't. I sent my 80 millimeter Esprit in to Dean over at Star Arizona because I thought some of them was messed up like a year ago to have it collimated and see if it was fine. He said it was fine. He sent it back, so it didn't even need it. So I don't do. I'll do everything else. I just don't do refractors. I'll send it to Tyler down at Explore. He knows how to do it, and I'll send it to Dean if it's a Celestron / Skywatcher. So I'll do that.
Hey, Dan, real quick before it goes away. So Dave Schaefer has a question. He wanted to know, why do RCs have such a higher focal length and lower focal ratio when they are reflectors as well?
I believe that has to do with the coatings of the primary mirror. Is that right, Pete?
That's a good question.
And the size of the secondary too. The secondaries actually on the RCs are pretty big.
Yeah, they're big. They're larger size secondaries on there. But as I was saying, is with RCs, if we're talking beginners, I wouldn't recommend an RC to a beginner if my life depended on it. It's not definitely something that you want to jump into the deep end of the pool. Definitely start maybe on, the shallow end and then work your way into an RC.
Yeah, but I think the question was, why do they have such a higher focal length and lower focal ratio compared to other reflectors? I think that's what was the answer. And I haven't seen that as far as that when you get to the 8 and 10s. What are they, 3.9 or so?
Yeah, they're definitely, somewhere around in that 5 vocal ratio, 5 down to, 4, 3, 3.5.
Yeah. Yep. And the shape of the mirror, the RCs too. Yeah, exactly right, Mark. So, it definitely has to do with the coatings and the shape. There are a lot. I'm not a huge RC person. I've collimated an RC and I did not have fun doing it. I have to thank, if you haven't seen it, you don't know how to collimate an RC, Alan Mitchell on YouTube, who has an incredible YouTube following right now, who has been on the show, has a great video on how to collimate an RC in, with the concentric circles from Harry Glatter. So pretty good. Yeah, my 8 inches f8, my 10 inches f8. Well, the Max different, man. You gotta remember the Max are a lot. That's a completely different type of. You got to remember you're dealing with a primary mirror, number one, a lens in the front which is curved, it's concave, right? So it's bent in, so it makes it a lot slower of a scope. It makes it a huge amount slower of a scope. And that's why Macs are really more suited for planetary than anything else. So, all right. I hope that answered some questions. Reflectors, Eric? I hope he's okay. All right. He had to leave for a second. Good for deep sky, reflectors, really good for collimation. Wow, really good for deep sky. And because you're able to grab those photons a lot quicker with deep sky objects. So you're able to get all those photons in really quick. Like we spoke before, lower price to size ratio as when compared to its refractor counterparts. However, just because refractors deal with curvature, reflectors deal with coma. so it's just another aberration because of the mirrors and the shape of the mirror, that you need a coma corrector to keep all those stars in focus when it hits your chip, just like curvature does for just like a flattener does for the curvature in refractors. So just a different tune on a different theme, kind of, but it's really the same thing. More towards the outside of the mirror. And Pete, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm tired. But most mirrors are convex. They curve like this.
Yep. So
And
you've
what
got,
happens is the mirror, because it turns like this towards your chip, you get coma towards the outside. So the centers will be good, but you'll be getting like kind of teardrop stars on the outside, and you need another piece of glass, just like the flattener, to combat that. Did I explain that right, Pete? I just want to make sure I'm explaining that right.
yep, because once again, when we're talking about reflectors, we're looking at ellipsoid shaped mirrors, we're looking at spherical shaped mirrors, we're looking at convex shaped, we're looking at concave shaped.
Yep.
There's a lot of these different shapes that come into doing with RCs, Newtonians, but basically, Dan, as you're saying, is that they do have that same one big issue, and that's once again dealing with the coma.
Yep.
It's always just an inherent issue that comes with reflectors. Once again, there's always going to be inherent issues with refractors as well. So all the different designs will always have these inherent weaknesses, but they have also their pertinent strengths as well.
Yep. All right. The one other thing with larger Newtonians, they could be quite unwieldy. Some of them, they're a bit bulky because of the length of them. So just keep that in mind as well. And if you like them, some people like them, some people don't, because of that nice little, we call these lines here, that's spider veins. And what happens is it creates star spikes in the stars, in the brighter ones. So just keep an eye. Just know that that's going to happen. All right. Kind of a reflector, more like a hybrid, is a Schmidt-Cassegrain. And when we talk about Schmidt's, this is a combination of pretty much mirrors and lenses. So it's got two mirrors and they call it a corrector lens. So light goes through the corrector lens, hits the mirror in the back. There's another mirror right behind here, this little space right here. And then it shoots out the back to the eyepiece. So it's bouncing back and forth a couple times. So that gives you a longer focal length, which is kind of cool. And you should definitely take a look at it. Made with mirrors and lenses. Usually has natively a higher focal ratio. Now you could add adapters to that as in focal reducers, which could get that down.
Dan?
Yeah.
Sorry, is there a way you can maybe move our images because it's blocking the Schmidt, the photos? Maybe move them down, or maybe over to the opposite side, or something.
I could do that if you just want to give me 1 second here. I can put everybody. Let's see. PETA is fine, and I am not fine. So let's do. And
yeah, I don't know if you want to move us over to the left or something. Not sure what would be best. Yeah.
Eric, Wow. And we'll put you down. It's gonna go. It's gonna go in front of everything. But let's do that.
Yeah, that's good.
And then we'll move Jesse over here. Yep. And kind of like that. We'll leave Pete there.
Yeah, let's get
That
another
works.
shot.
Now we can see him.
We'll put Pete in the corner. Nobody puts Pete in the corner.
Where's the dunce hat?
And where's my chat? Where's my chat? There it is. Okay, there we go. All right. So again, we spoke about slower scopes, and the reason why that it's a slower scope because that light is bouncing back and forth all over the place. Just imagine this scope is your 8-inch Schmidt Cassegrain. This has a 2032 millimeter focal length. Okay. Oh, geez. Dave, be quiet. 2032 millimeters. Now I'm going to take a guess that this is about 1200, and this is probably about 500 or 600. This is, I think, a 120. So this has the highest focal length out of all of these. But look at the size of this. This is probably smaller in size than the refractor. And that's one of the attractive things about Schmidt Cassegrain is the portability. It's got a long focal length. Some maintenance, same thing. Collimation will be needed with the Schmidts. Great for deep sky. Great for planetary. However, if you're going to do deep sky, you're going to want to grab a reducer, a 0.7, 0.8, whatever you use. You're going to want to, get the reducer to speed up the scope. Just remember when you're doing that, when you speed up the scope, you're losing some of the focal length. So now if you're using a 0.7 instead of 2000 millimeters, you're probably about, what is that, 0.7 times 1400, I think, something like that. That's where you're at now. So you're getting a wider field of view, but you're losing focal length. So just keep that in mind. One is reciprocal to the other, directly inversion of one of the other. So definitely keep that in mind. We spoke about compact for the focal length. Yeah, I mean the Hyperstar, absolutely. If you have a Hyperstar compatible for a Schmidt, you get down to f2. But then again, you go into f2, you're 1/5 of the focal length now. So now you're at 400. So if I'm going to go down to 400 to get down to f2, I'm just going to buy a Rasa and be done with it. I'm not going to buy a Hyperstar to add to a $2,000 telescope to get a Rasa. I would just get the Rasa. I just wouldn't do it. But
right. And
what do you think? So being the only one that owns a Rasa, Eric,
yeah.
What do you think about what I just said?
Yeah, I see your point, but I also see the point that DB made, because one thing I love about the Schmidts is their versatility. You can basically just with a few extra pieces, you can change the focal ratio very quickly and relatively easily. With a Hyperstar, you can go faster. Yes, you're going to sacrifice your focal length, that deeper, narrower focal length for a wider focal length and a faster focal rate, but you have a faster focal ratio. And even with a, either a 6, you can either go down to f6.3 or f7, depending on the reducer.
Yep.
You have that, or you can throw in a Barlow, and you can go to f20 up to f30 for planetary. In my personal opinion, the Schmidt is basically almost like the Swiss Army knife of telescopes.
I agree. I agree with that statement. But my OCD totally kicks in. It totally. I'm just. I. If I gotta take apart things with my rig, I start twitching. That's why I have my Red Cat. I don't touch it. My ASCAR. I don't touch it. My 130. I don't touch it. Everything's got their own, and I leave it all alone. I just don't even. If I gotta switch Hyperstar, then add a Barlow, then do this and then do that, and take new flats and take it gets to be more work from, and that's just a personal thing. So that's just for me. There are people out there that have no qualms about doing all the stuff that would require, and it's not. I'm making it seem a lot harder than what it is. It's not that hard, but for me, I just don't want to be bothered with doing all that stuff. I just want to sit here. I want to take my telescope and I want to put it on my mount and I want to go. I don't want to have to worry about taking new flats. I don't want to have to worry about taking new anything. I just want to take it and go. And thinking that I do that quite a bit, it's amazing how I have such little to show for it because I don't have any images.
To be perfectly honest with you, I got the Rasa before I got my Edge 8, right? And if I would have thought about it, looking at, I probably would have maybe gone down the same route that TJ, Conley went, where he has the Hyperstar and he has the reducer and he can do F10 and he has a Barlow or I think a Power Mate, so he can do planetary and things like that. It's nice for some people to be able to have just one piece of equipment and manage one piece of equipment and just learn. And now how we always keep talking about learning your equipment, learning that equipment is the key. And if you can take the time to learn how to properly, use the Schmidt at F10 or then at F7 to do with the reducer for deep sky, and then take the next step in getting the Hyperstar, and then learning how to use that. And if you decide, if you are interested in planetary, you can get a Barlow or a Power Mate, and you can go ahead, put that guy in and then go ahead and try your hand at planetary. It is such a versatile system that you can, like I said, it's the Swiss Army knife of telescopes. You can just buy one piece of equipment and learn that piece of equipment and just add accessories to it.
Yeah, I mean those are all good points. They're really good points, and I love the way this conversation goes because I'm the refractor guy. That's me. I'm the refractor guy, and I like my refractors, and I just like them. And sooner or later, I think Sean Nielsen has got me to jump the shark and go to the the fast newts. Maybe a Starfield kind of like he's doing. But I tried that once. I didn't get good results to it, but I didn't stick with it as long as I probably should have. But I'm thinking that's where I'm gonna end up going, and eventually I'm gonna. I took shots of Jupiter and Saturn with my 18-inch Dob, and it was a lot of fun. I did it in about 3 minutes. I was done with an 18-inch Dob at f4.2. So, I mean, it was great, but it was a little fuzzy. I don't know a lot about planetary because it's not my thing. There is, planetary to me, and I got to give a shout out to Tim Connolly in the chat. How's it going,
Tim?
Yeah,
hop on. Hey, bud.
What's up, man? Looking forward to see you at NEAF, my friend. That's the last time I saw Tim Connolly was at NEAF. he was doing we hooked up and he was doing solar out there, and we were like hanging out for a little bit. But
I think that's the first time I met him there as well. Like I had my little list and
Yeah.
met him same day I did it. I was like, I'm gonna go around. I'm gonna meet everybody.
I think that was the same day I met Jesse too. So
yes.
Refractors are too boring for me. I like boring. I like boring.
Tim likes a challenge. TJ likes a challenge.
I like a challenge too. You know, I don't care what kind of scope you have. In a Bortle 9, when you're not sitting in upstate New York with 18 inches of snow like some people. You know, I love you, man. But you know, it's you know, anything is a challenge in Bortle A+. Anything. I don't care what scope you use, because just to manage the gradients is enough. It's enough in any scope. I don't care if you're shooting f2 or f10. I don't care. It's not. It's shooting in a high Bortle sky is so much more difficult than shooting in a Bortle 2 or 3. Way harder.
If I can chime in here,
Of course.
because I've been to Eric and Dan and also reading in the chat, you know, everybody's got valid points here. No question about it. There's some very, very good points here, and there's some strengths. But as you said, for every strength that you have to kind of weigh it. What is it that there's also going to be a issue or a potential issue? Case in point, nothing wrong with Schmitz. Believe me, Schmitz are great. They're kind of like, as Eric says, the Swiss Army knife. However, you have to kind of look and say, okay, what are the issues that I'm going to have to contend with? And like you say, Dan, is it a grab and go if I have to go ahead and make changes? If I want to change out, say, the fast star, if I have to go ahead and, you know, change out, do I want to put the camera on the back end with the reducer? Do I want to put it on the fast? So you're right. You got to kind of weigh those to be able to determine, does that outweigh what the issues that I'm going to be contending with? And so if you really truly want to have the best of everything, you should have maybe the best of two worlds. Get a reflector and get a refractor. So now you've got two scopes. And if you can afford a third scope, then maybe have that scope dedicated for astrophotography, like an astrograph. Astrographs were made specifically, not for visual, but really just for doing astrophotography, because it is a lens with a lens grouping with a primary mirror. And as you said, it really kind of comes down to what it is that you're looking for. If you were to say that, okay, I want a fast performance vehicle, well, in that case, then you're going to probably get a high performance car, right? But if you want to go to Home Depot and you got to load up, say, 6x4 panels of plywood, are you going to use that high performance vehicle? I don't think so. You're going to want to get a truck, right? So then you have to have a second vehicle, which is a truck. So it's kind of that same equation.
Agreed. Into like, and it goes on to the title of the presentation, the right tool for the right job.
Yep.
You know? So absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, literally, we're an hour and 15 minutes into it, and we're like having some awesome discussion here. You know, it's just amazing. You know, I start to go into mounts a little bit. Let's see.
All right, I'm gonna real quick while you're pulling that up. And Mark Ellis is in the chat just telling Tim that he needs to come on the show and give us a class on how to solar image, and I am going to absolutely back that one up. Yes.
I was just believe it or not, Tim, I was just texting you, but let's get this off here real quick. So you know, listen. A lot of stuff out there, a lot of really, really good discussion about there. You know, the funny thing is, and I'm probably going to screw up the story a little bit because I'm doing it from memory, but just to give you a little story about the invention of the apochromat, right? So way back when things were being invented, not like we invent them now, but the apochromat was about to be invented. This guy came out, you know, figured out that when you add a crown and a flint glass, when you're talking about the acros, that when you put it together, there's some capability of getting some of the light waves to the same point, and when you put the crown and the flint together, it helped out. And what happened was, I believe his name was George Bass. I could be wrong, but I believe it was George Bass. And he was like, hey, you know what? If I put these two together, I could get some really good, not as great yet, but the chromatic aberration is less. I'm going to put this together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have person X build the crown, right? I'm going to have person Y build the flint, and they'll never put it together, right? So they won't figure out the properties of putting the two together, so I can patent it out myself and take care of it, right? Well,
Right.
what happened was those two people, X and Y, worked for company A. And so the person at company A saw that these two, this pieces of glass, were being built for the same person, figured out why, put it together himself, and made the first Acromat. So I thought it was pretty funny how that happened. If you want to know names and stuff like that, I don't remember the whole story, but it was kind of scandalous on how there's more to it when you build the Apocrymat later and how it becomes about. And there was a big family battle about the whole thing. It was pretty crazy.
Well, the one thing also, Eric, and you brought up a good point with one of the strengths of the SCTs with the reducer, whether it be if we're talking about Celestron, their 0.63 reducer, or the Optec Lepus, you've got 105 millimeters of back focus. That's a lot of back focus to work with. More so than what you get when you have your typical, and that's another downside of the refractors. When you look at the flatteners or the reducers, you've only got 55, 56 millimeters. So you're right. There's another issue that you have when you start looking at those flatteners reducers for the refractors.
Yeah, and
So
I
once
believe it's
again,
up to 146 on the 9
That's
1/4,
for the 9 and for the 9 and a
9
quarter.
1/4, and the 11, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think I think even for the 14, it's a bit more.
Yeah.
For the 14.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's but I think it's
and
146.
you're right. At that high vocal length, you definitely want to have OAG, no question about it. You don't want to actually have
Absolutely.
So
And you don't want to
having
go. Go ahead, Pete. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say is that it having that much back focus allows you now to put so much into that optical training.
Yes.
Yeah.
And talking about that OAG, we've talked about this, I believe, a while back, maybe a couple weeks ago before I went in, is that there are those two different types of OAGs. You have the smaller prism and the larger prism. But when you're talking about a Schmidt-Cassegrain and their native focal length is well over 1,000, you're talking 2,000 millimeter plus focal length. You've got to get, this is just me saying this, you've got to get that 12 millimeter, prism. You've got to get that larger prism, and the larger, guide camera, sensor, Yeah.
And just to segue onto that, you also got now, when you've got that large 12 by 12 pickup prism, you've also got to get the larger sensor on the guide camera. So you're looking at that ZWO 174 mini because you've got to pick up all that real estate.
Yep. Absolutely.
And I just want to show one slide here for the beginners in the group, because I did speak a lot and I don't want to take up any more, and I think we're having a great discussion, but beware of stuff like this. So 675 power with a 60 millimeter scope, you are not seeing the helix. You're definitely not. I haven't seen visually the Horsehead Nebula, with the exception of one time in a Border 1 sky with an 8-inch and an H beta filter. So you're not seeing it with a 60 millimeter, and not for nothing, with a 70 millimeter scope, you're not getting a picture of the Earth on your cell phone. It's not happening. unless if you figured a way to make the light bend, it's not going to happen.
That's funny. I didn't even notice that, Dan. I didn't. I was like, oh look.
It is not happening.
Great.
So just beware of stuff like that. If you see stuff like this or this, run fast, run away.
Fast.
Go to your local astronomy club and say, "Look what I found," because they will laugh. So just stay away from stuff like that, because it is definitely not worth your cash. So
not worth the money, not worth the frustration. The frustration of the expectations of what you're going to get out of it. You're going to use it maybe 4 or 5 times, and it's going to end up in the closet.
Yep. And not to mention, I am not selling that on AstroWorld. I will never sell that on AstroWorld. That will not happen. I mean, you know what? If I do have one, I will make a video on Patreon of me smashing it to bits, and I'll buy it just to destroy it. And
I'll tell you, any scope, any size, for $19.95.
It's insane. It's
but
insane.
Dan.
Telling you.
I love it.
Oh, God.
EG binos can be really, really good. You got a good set of binos, you will sit there and you will just sit there and watch, and you can pull out so much stuff with a proper binocular and a dark sky. It's awesome.
You can.
Yep.
Just maybe just consider getting some sort of a bino mount, or even a monopod, a monopod or something like that, because I've done that, and I tell you, my arms got tired.
Oh man,
I'm gonna take a look on the internet and look at binocular observing chairs. There are some crazy things that people have made with those. I think I'd mentioned a few months ago, I had done just a short presentations for some of my coworkers on just very basic astronomy. And, I concentrated mostly on binoculars because I knew, a lot of them probably have those, which they did. So I was looking for, just some good, pictures to put on my PowerPoint slide. And I had no idea how many different, where people they have these lounge chairs and stuff that comes up over top of them. I mean, it's very, and they just, pull them over. I mean, they're pretty cool. I mean, there's some that are already out there for sale, but some of the DIYers out there came up with some pretty cool stuff. I'm just going to say.
I mean, and you know what the cool thing is with those chairs are, as you move either forward or back, it doesn't matter if you're a taller person or a shorter person. The binoculars stay in the same orientation because of the mount. And you're sitting there and you're like, come here, Johnny, or whatever. I know you 7. I know you 6. Come on, sit in the chair. And then all he has to do is look in, and it's at the same thing you were looking at. And
that's nice.
It's pretty cool. There's a couple of stuff. Somebody threw out the Orion Monster parallelogram mount, which is awesome. They're one of the few companies out there that still make them. And I know we made a bunch of them as a club group kind of thing, made out of wood, but this thing is super light, and then it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And if you're really interested, there is in the Astronomical League, if you're a binocular person, in the Astronomical League, there is a program for the binocular Messier program, where you could actually view with binoculars and send it into the Astronomical League and get a pin if you get over, I think, 75 objects or something like that. And there's no time involved in it. You could do it over 20 years. It doesn't matter. But as long as you do it and have you got to have date, time, seeing, transparency, and a description. And it's pretty cool. I got my Messier one. I did 89 objects in a year, and
wow,
without doing a Messier marathon. I did 82 in a Messier marathon, and that's coming up soon. By the way, that's next weekend. Of course, it's going to be cloudy in New York, but
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Time already.
You had to be in the right conditions. Yeah, but this time of year, this is the Messier marathon time of year.
Yep. You'll be able to get in this new moon coming up, and you'll be able to get most of them, not all of them. You'll get like 102 of them in April, the April new moon. But the March new moon, you'll be able to get all 110. Just be prepared to be up all night. Start during the day. You literally start at sunset. Oh, you need a bigger cup than that. But
don't forget your coffee.
Yeah, get your coffee, get your 5-hour power shot, or whatever you do to stay awake all night. That's legal.
Snacks. Bring snacks.
Bring snacks. Yes, bring some yodels or ding dongs or whatever, and get that. But let me tell you, it's a lot of fun. I had a friend that did it. His name was Dennis Wild. Great observer. We had an observatory, a 14-inch observatory, and what happened was that the motor died. It didn't work anymore. And so there's Dennis in the dome and a 14-inch Schmidt Cassegrain, right? He's sitting there doing a Messier marathon, 2 o'clock in the morning, moving probably about 300-pound cement dome with his arms like this, back and forth like this. He got 72. He got 72. I'm like, there you go. Well, here's the thing, Dave. With the Messier marathon, you have to do it without computer assistance. No, if you do it with computer assistance, you get the thing with the little asterisk next to it that says
that's for visual. But you can do the AP Messier, right, with computer assistance, can't you?
You could do what?
AVAP.
The AP.
Okay.
The astrophotography Messier marathon.
So yes,
they have
you can, but I don't think I could be wrong, and it won't be the first time. But I don't think the Astronomical League has an AP Messier marathon certificate. I think it's just visual or binoculars.
Gotcha.
So I could be wrong. They could have changed it, but I don't think they do.
Gotcha. If nowadays, can you imagine if you took, if you used, like, say, a Stellina or any of these newer smart telescopes, to do the Messier marathon, it would be pretty interesting, to camp out and do that under some nice dark skies and take the little dwarf telescope or the Stellina or the others and do something like that. That would be kind of cool.
It would be.
So yeah.
Hey, you know what? It's a lot of fun. I mean, you know what? I've done the Messier marathon a couple times. I'm not going to be able to do it this year because the weather is not gonna, it's not gonna, it's not gonna help in New York. I mean, I got this crazy front coming in. It's just pure white across clear outside for the duration. I don't even know, but it's pretty.
Yeah,
bad.
You're getting my stuff because we just got.
Might be a river.
No, I'm not crying. I'm not crying you a river.
Just a break here.
I can't cry you a river, Pete, because if I cry you a river, it's going to overflow into your backyard. I can't.
God, I've been shoveling mud today. I've been sandbagging today, just waiting for a break. Oh my gracious, it's amazing.
Senthil, how you doing, Senthil? What's going on? He's got his Unistellar going. Hey, listen, Unistellar is pretty cool, man. It's not, it's definitely one of those, like Eric was saying, those smart telescopes out there. It's pretty cool. I mean, I would love to just get like, I'd be kind of scared to get a, like, I probably wouldn't get a Vespera. I'd probably get a Stellina. You know, that's a bigger one, or their next bigger one with the Newtonian reflector. It's like $15,000, but yeah, it's super stupid expensive.
Yeah, I haven't even seen that one. Is that new one coming out, or?
No, it's been out for a while. You can go to the Vaonis website. They don't sell a lot of them, but it is available out there. I believe it's a one. What is it, Pete? Is it a 150 Newt?
150, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's a 150. So it's a 150 as opposed to the whatchamacallit, the Stellina has a Red Cat size scope in it. It's a 51, if I remember right, in there.
Have any of you guys have used any of those before?
Yeah, I used the Stellina and the Vespera.
Okay.
They're both awesome. They're great.
Yeah, they look amazing. But I know there was a lot of hate when those started coming out. You know, the whole, the purists, of course.
Cheating.
You know what? I'm sorry. Space is for everybody, and not everybody has the time or gumption or the know-how to do this. Some people just want to go out and take pretty pictures, and that's a beautiful thing. And if that helps people get out there and love space, I'm for it. So it's not cheating. It's just using technology. It's using what we got. So
I agree, and you know what, and a lot of people, at the rate technology is advancing in all the fields that we do, whether that be acquiring the image, stretching, or post-processing or pre-processing, whatever we do to our images, it's just going to keep getting better and better with the advent of AI and the implementation of AI into almost everything we do, not only astrophotography, but everything else, meaning medical, meaning cars, meaning whatever type of computer that's out there. We're 2 steps away from StarNet, people. I mean, think about it. We really are.
You're not wrong.
ChatGPT is
ballistic. It's all over the place.
It's all over the place, and yeah, we are here. The next thing you know, they're going to be, T1000s walking around, with us not even knowing it. So it's going to be nuts, and RoboCops. It's going to be crazy.
As long as they are not projecting any ads into space.
And as long as they don't look like Peter Weller, we'll all be fine. And
dude, I'm telling you, I'm serious. The first time I see a legit Cylon, I'm going to go nuts.
You're out. You're done.
That we all have to worry.
Oh my gosh, I'm done.
So we can't read that all.
So say we all.
Man, so say we all. Hit it, Dan. Hit it. We are off the freaking rails, man.
Yep. Yeah, we are.
Hit the button.
I gotta find the button, man. Come on, where is the button?
Oh my
there you go.
Oh my God.
And for those Picard watchers out there, no, I have not seen an episode yet. I have not. So anyway, but what we again, let's bring it on. Let's rein it on in a little bit. Let's bring it back into what we do, because we only got about 25 minutes left. But
oh my gosh, look at that! Yeah, and aren't I the one that's supposed to be keeping track of time on you guys? And I'm not doing a very good
time watcher. What the hell?
I know. Like I'm not on enough. I forget my job. I forget my responsibilities. We got to get
I'm telling you.
This is a question I'm going to ask everybody here, because Dan, this is going to tie into what you're talking about. And Eric is going to say, Eric, how many scopes do you have?
4.
Dan, how many scopes do you have?
Hold on, I'm counting. Like scopes that I have in the house, or scopes that I have just total?
Just condense it into a nutshell. How many scopes do you have? 4, 5?
6, 7, 8.
Okay, more than 5.
Yeah,
9.
you get more than 5.
So I have 4. So what does that tell us right now? There's not one scope that suffices for either of us, all of us, right? There's not one scope.
We all have a problem.
It's an addiction is what it is. It's an addiction to challenges. But you're absolutely right. This comes back to this presentation that you've done is that there is no one scope that's going to suffice. Case in point, the SCT gets close. SCT gets close if you don't mind doing all the retro and changing items back and forth. It comes close. But really, why do we have at least more than, say, 2 scopes? Because we realize that no one scope will suffice everything that we want to do.
That's it.
Missing
Very
one.
true.
I'm missing a
Very true.
telescope.
Ernie, you're
So
absolutely
what
right.
is
There is no such thing as a perfect scope. There is
No.
no perfect scope.
You know,
There
and
really
that's
is
why.
no-
There
What's
are
up,
so
Pete?
many different things
No.
that people want to do. You can only, there's aperture fever is real. I don't care what anybody says. Aperture fever is real.
It is. I agree.
And this time of year, like it's we're coming up on galaxy season. I just
Yep.
put my 127
Exactly.
on. I got
Exactly.
everything rigged up with my melee and everything was, and I got my cores right and all that stuff right, and I got everything up, and several trial runs of like, oh, I forgot to do this. I've got to tweak this setting. 4 years of setting. I got everything good to go. And then ripped it all apart and changed up my 70 for my 127. I'm like, okay, so because I don't want to do anything easy, but yes, galaxy season, and I'm gonna tell you, see, I'm putting that 127 on. I'm like, we can go bigger. We can go
Yeah.
bigger.
Yeah.
And it happens this time of year,
Yeah.
every year when I'm
Yeah.
thinking all these
You can
little
go bigger.
galaxies that I would love to
I'm telling
see. Like, how big?
I mean,
could
there
I
was that
go?
time, Jesse, that I was really thinking, because me, I'm when it comes to refractors, I'm a big William Optics fan. I was thinking about the 156, right? I was thinking about that Star 156 that just gets over. It just gets over 1,000, millimeter focal length, but it's like, do I want to carry that monster around? It's like, my God, that's why I'm happy with the, the Edge, the Schmitz, because it's so much lighter. It's like 20, the whole thing is less than 30 pounds with all of my gear, probably. It's like maybe 25 to 30 pounds with all of my gear. Heck, the telescope itself, if I went with a 156, is over 30 pounds. It's like, that's okay. It's all good. And you're paying for it. I mean, a 156 is close to $5,000.
Yeah, I keep on thinking I want to do like an 8-inch RC. That's been just that's been tickling my brain for a couple years now, saying, and it's not going to happen this year, but it'll happen. It will happen.
Yeah.
It will. It'll miraculously show up at my house, and I'll be like, I have no idea. Like, it's just, here it is. Like,
That's exactly. Honey, I'm talking to Robin. Honey, I don't know where, plane wave. I don't know how it got here. Did the UPS? I think the UPS guy made a mistake. CDK-17, I have no idea what happened. I don't know.
Yeah, I must have done it in my sleep. I was delirious.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't send it back.
Yeah. Or it's just like, yeah, honey, yeah, I know a guy. I got a guy.
I got a guy. There's
a truck right around the corner. It just happened to fall off. I got a guy. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
I've just been reading the chat here. I thought the three of us were kind of crazy and addicted. We got some clients and some great customers, some great viewers, and they're just as nutty as we are.
Yep.
They love this addiction. It's just amazing.
Mark, a 165. Yeah, you crazy. You're crazy, man.
I'm gonna start singing. You are not alone.
No.
But
like,
it kind of comes back down to what your presentation is, Dan, is just having this variety that hey, we got some wide field scopes. We got an SCT that gives you the vocal length if you want to shoot planetaries, if you want to do, say, planetaries, nebulas, or planets. That's the advantage of having these scopes. And let's just face it, sometimes we don't want to image. We just want to just do visual, right? So
No,
having like
I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't done visual in like 5 years.
But if you say had a bunch of kids that were looking at it, you wouldn't actually do any astrophotography. You'd probably say, you know what? Hold on, let me put a diagonal in. Let me get a couple of eyepieces. I'm
Nope,
sure you got some eyepieces.
Got no kids, and nobody likes.
You got no
eyepieces, so
eyepieces,
it's okay.
Dan? I'll put money. You got eyepieces in that closet of death.
I've sold almost every eyepiece I have, with the exception of
I knew it.
with the exception of a 27 panoptic and
There
a
we go. And that's
17 Nagler Type 5.
a 27 panoptic. That and the 24 are the best eyepieces ever
I
made.
love my 27, and I have a 17 Nagler Type 5.
So why are you keeping that 27 then?
I
if you're
got
gonna
your
use it?
hookup.
Because
I got your
like
hookup
it.
right here. I got it.
You
Come
got
on.
to get good.
I got your
You get
hookup.
the stuff. You just need like a trench coat, Eric, and just kind of like stick him in the trench coat. Be like, I got some.
You know what? You want it? I got it.
Eric, just do me a favor.
I got
Blow,
the big ones.
blow,
I
the,
got
blow
the
the coating of
itty-bitty
dust
ones.
off of everything, please. You know, just get like the horsehair brush and get the coat, all that dust off there. You know?
I know, right? I know. Crazy.
So in case anybody asking why Eric is showing that nice case of wonderful eyepieces, Eric at NEAF is going to be giving them all away. I
will trade all of these in for a nice 2600 one shot. How about that?
Memory will be there. That might happen.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. Hey, listen,
Oh,
you know,
goodness.
So hold on, I'll go back to Dan. Dan, you don't you do visual, but yet you still keep that that panoptic 27. It's a 1/4 inch eyepiece, but why do you keep it if you never use it?
It's a 1/4 inch eyepiece.
Yeah, it's a 1/4 inch barrel, right? It's an inch and a quarter. It's an inch and a quarter,
it's
not a
2
2
inch.
inch.
2 inch.
It's that's right. The 24 millimeter is only
The
an inch and a
24
quarter.
is 1 inch and a quarter. Yeah. The 27 is 2 inch. And you got to remember, I have a 0.965 Strel 18-inch mirror in storage. Someday it will come out again. So
And we bust Scott about not using his scope setup. Look what Dan's got in storage.
well, in all fairness to me, my 18-inch scope requires wheelbarrow handles. Scott has everything on freaking wheelie bars. I mean, big difference there. All he has to do is push it out the back door. I got to go to storage, get it out, put it in my car, bring it to the beach, get it out of the car, set it up, set the truss tubes, be tall enough to put the upper tube assembly on top without breaking anything. And, you know, so.
Hey, this is a joke that we should all play with Scott, and it'll include our viewer membership. Next time Scott's on, what we'll do is we'll say that we're going to have an auction for Scott's setup. And we'll have all the viewer membership start to bid on it.
I've got so much stuff that I think I could sell. It's crazy. I mean, I've still got the 8-inch Schmidt, the next star.
Yep.
Orange.
But you're never going to get rid of that. That was your first one. You're never going to get rid of that.
That was the first one Robin. Yeah, that was the first one Robin gave me. So I may not ever get rid of it. I've got an AVX mount. I've got wheelie bar. I've got a wheelie bar in the garage. You know, I've got crazy stuff. It's nuts.
You got a wheelie bar?
Hey, do we have a classified section?
If you ever sell that, let me know.
We have what?
Section, Dan. You got to post it to the classified section.
No, there is. There's a buy sell USA on there. So on the Discord, it's on there. Nobody uses it. That's fine, but it's there. I got.
Yeah.
And you know, Eric, maybe if you sell everything, you could, feed your, the 5 kids that you're complaining about.
I know. Hey, you know what? I'm trying to sell them too. I'm trying to tell you, I want to get a 2600. You know what? Maybe I can get one. Maybe if I get rid of them both, maybe No, I can't get a Mach 2 or a 10 micron out of that. I probably can't even get that. I can't even get. I gotta give them. You know.
So you got teenagers, don't you, Eric? Yeah, you can have a hard time with that. You got teenagers.
Yeah,
That
if they were cute little kids, you might get a little bit more.
I'd have to pay somebody to take them. They wouldn't take them and give me nothing. I got to give them everything. Say, please.
That's
take
funny.
my kids, please.
That's hilarious.
Well, guys, it is 9:48.
Oh, the timekeeper has awoken.
I have remembered my duty here.
The sleeper has awakened.
So I guess we still need to do the picture of the week. And
We
are
do.
we doing a giveaway this evening?
We are. We have a Masters of Pixel Insight workshop that we got to give away.
Excellent.
So let's do the picture of the week. And I hope people voted. I haven't looked on it for the past couple of days, but the voting has closed at 9:30. So it's 9:48. So let me load this guy up and see what we got. So let's go to the live site.
And I'm also going to mention we got 37 people watching. We only have 33 likes.
Oh my goodness! Here we go.
What's up with that? Y'all see, y'all didn't think I was going to show up today. Y'all was slacking.
You know what
they
I like?
They didn't think, Eric's not going to be here. You know, you were going to hit the like button. Please, y'all better hit that like button.
Oh,
we got 34. Hit the button.
Hold on. I'm gonna that button. Steve is Peter's getting a friend, so I think Peter's alone over there. So I moved Jesse over.
I'm not the reporter anymore.
Hi.
It's like the Brady Bunch. Hi.
So let's do that, and then I'm saving this all for next time, so it's kind of like makes sense. All right, cool. So for those of you, again, if there's anybody new on the channel, we do images of the week, images of the month. Next week will be it's going to be the week we reveal the February picture of the month. We're a month behind, so that'll be the third picture. But all you got to do is go to image contests, right?
Before you go much further, do you still have any calendars that you need to get rid of? We should mention that if you've got some.
I have 4 left, and you know what it was told? It was told to me by, I believe, Ernie or maybe Mikey or somebody on the Discord channel. Maybe the hosts that are at NEAF sign the calendars and autograph them, and we use them as giveaways for NEAF.
That's fun.
That's good. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We'll do that. So maybe we do like a $2 raffle or something like that. That's what it is. But here is you go to image contests, right? You go in there, and if you ever want to submit anything, this was last week's picture of the week, which was March 3rd. That was Jason, AZ4 Runner, his M42, and the last picture of the month, which was January, was Dylan Bloodstone, part of the Rosette. And then this week's picture, give it a second to load up. It's moving a little. Some of these pictures are really big, so you got to give it a second to kind of load up here. We'll go back to that one. Isaac Armis, the Rosette and the Cone Nebula and the Foxfur, nice wide field.
That is nice.
Part of the Rosette again. The central's part of the Rosette.
Lovely and green down.
Yep, there's my green. It's not easy being green. That's Dave Schaefer. M51, Kevin Rasso. Came out really nice. Another a different starless, I believe it's SHO version of the Cone Nebula. Greg Meyer, man, let me tell you something. There's a reason why Greg had 6 pictures of the week last year. Unbelievable shots this guy's doing. Starless, looks beautiful. A great shot of the crab, M1. Yeah. Mikey. Tadpoles, Tom. Peter, our newest Patreon member. Thank you, Tom. And then you got both of the you got Pickering's Triangle, Eastern and Western Vale. Pretty cool. Rick Marcrunis from Cherry Springs. Oh, you were there the same week we were there. Chris Jensen, another cone and Christmas tree. Foxford.
I'm just going to point out how I think there's whether 3 with the cone.
Yeah.
And every one of them is so unique.
They're so different.
They're so and yeah, absolutely. It really is amazing what you can do. You know, just bringing your own artistic, art. Yeah, your art into it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I like it.
I agree with you 100%. Norm Newman, M35 and 2158. Nice cluster there. You know what the sad thing is? This is the lowest amount of votes we've had in 3 weeks.
Oh man, what's wrong? How come people aren't voting?
I think that was partially my fault. I did put them up a little bit late, but we usually get in the 80s, 80s or higher. Over the past couple of weeks, we only have 47 this week. Let's go back to the top one again because we didn't get to see that one all the way. And there it is. The Dragon's Nest. You got the Flaming Star Nebula, and that's Josh Kovac. And there we go. So 47 votes. So let's see what we got here. And let's see what we shall see here. Got a lot of good pictures. I got to tell you, from when we started this whole thing, the quality of the pictures have literally skyrocketed throughout when we started them, and it's really, really nice to see. So, all right, and I don't know why it starts at May 27th again. That was last year, but all right, March 10th. Here we go. We got 47 votes, and the results are in. Let's see. You are not the father. Tom Peter with the tadpoles, 22 votes.
Wow.
46.8% of the vote. Congrats, Tom. Nice job. Isaac with 5, 5, 4. It wasn't even close. So nice job, Tom. Really nice.
Very nice. Very nice work.
Hey, Tom, you're in the running for Picture of the Month for March. So awesome job with that.
Hey, Dan, when's the next critique night?
The last Friday of the month.
Okay.
Yep.
And you don't want to see my email. What are you doing? Let's get into where is it? Trying to find. I got too many windows open. There it is. Bam. There we go. So we got the Masters of Pix Insight wheel again. We finally broke. We got 2 more members, 2 more people that logged in. We got 151 people that are on for this wheel now. So massive, unbelievable. Do you remember when we were like doing this wheel and the slices were like literally like there was 4 people on there?
And you can actually like see their names on it. I'm like going, they're getting awful thin. And that's beautiful.
And I call this wheel the Sean Nielsen Wheel of Fortune because he pointed me to this. So I got to give him the props of that. So here we go. Masters of Pix Insight. Next one is Masks Unmasked. I believe that is going to be on the 21st, March 21st, which is a Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. So, and if you don't like it, it doesn't work for you, and you want to start from the beginning, you can buy any of the other ones. So all you got to do is go to mastersofpixinsight.com and pick whichever one you want. So here we go. Watch the amount of viewers drop when it stops. So, and the winner is George Albrecht. He is the person that told me that no one ever calls him Georgie, but George. we all float down here. So
Jolty.
so George, I'll send you an email. You've actually won before, maybe last year, but awesome. You'll get a voucher for all that, and we'll take care of you. So thank you to everybody who's been participating over the past couple of years and getting this up there. So awesome time. What do we got in the chat here? Anything in the chat real quick or?
I'm looking here.
Yeah, me too. And George. Yep. Congratulations, guys.
Yeah.
Great job. Let's take a look one more time at the tadpoles. I hear the kitty.
You hear my kitty again. I'm sorry. I starve him. It's been an entire 4 hours since he's had his dinner.
Oh, well, 4 hours?
Hey, meow. Meow.
But he's our old man. He's almost 16, and he's been on a diet for about a year and a half. And he's, and up in, for the first 14 years of his life, he was kind of free feeding, but then he got to be really round. So we had to put him on a diet. So now between 6 in the evening and 6 in the morning, we hear this. And then between 6 in the morning and 6 in the evening, we hear this. But he's getting skinny, so that's good. And that is a beautiful picture of the tadpole. So yes, congratulations.
Really good job, Tom.
Congratulate. That's what he's over here congratulating you from the fat cat.
The dark nebula in here is awesome. The glow along the tadpoles is wonderful, and the balance of the stars and the nebula. It's just a really great job. So nice job, Tom. And I'm not just saying that because you're our newest Patreon member. I think it's a really good picture. So
it's beautiful. I love the lighting in the center. I just want to fall into it.
Yeah, it gets brighter as it goes to the center. It's really, really cool. But nice job, Tom. Awesome job.
My husband's been out. He brought me dinner, so I'm over here.
There you go. And what else we got? Anything else? Nothing else in the chat? All right. So how about we?
Anything else?
All right. Actually, you know what, Dave? I'm gonna shave your M50. You want me? I'm gonna save it for next one. I'm sorry, Dave. Been running around and doing a whole bunch of stuff, but we'll show it next time at the critique night. But everybody, Eric, final thoughts?
No, I'm just happy to be back and hang out with my friends and chat and everybody online. And no, but again, this was a very productive show. I love shows like this. The time goes by a lot faster, because you're having a lot more fun. And so no, this was a very enjoyable Friday. So have a great weekend, everybody. And yeah, just again, it's great to be back and hanging out with everybody.
Yeah. Well, I'm totally glad that you're cool and everything has been, status quo for the most part, as far as your recovery is concerned. So good to have you back.
So just don't mind me walking around in my pajamas for a while. So my bad.
Don't worry. Don't worry. I'll black you out, from the waist down. It's okay. Don't worry.
Right on.
Well, I just want to congratulate our winners tonight, and thank you guys for hanging out with us. It is great seeing all you guys again. It's been a few weeks again. Eric, I'm so glad you're able to be here and all is going well. Pajamas, otherwise, it's all good. And I saw someone in the chat saying can't wait for NEAP. I absolutely cannot wait for NEAP. I'm so excited for it this year. So I'm excited to meet you guys and meet some of you guys, and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time. Very good time.
Eric, good to have you back. Dan, presentation once again was really good. Is Dylan going to be able to come back on and do his presentation on a Friday? I was looking forward to it.
Yeah, I believe I know he's in the chat. I know he had some surgery that he got taken care of, so I'm hoping that he's going to be fine. Hopefully maybe next Friday. We'll see. I'll throw him a text because he already has his PowerPoint. PowerPoint's been ready for weeks. So
Good. Well, it'd be good to have him on. And I've asked this question, but we haven't gotten a response back. I'm going to throw this out to the viewer membership. Who wants to step up? Because this is going to be a good topic of discussion. How to interpret PhD graphs.
Yep.
Who in the viewer membership would like to do it? Because if nobody steps up, then I think down after Neve, we'll have to do this presentation. But I want to see if somebody would like to step up and do it, because that's going to be a topic that I think is very pertinent for a lot of people, because they don't understand what they're looking at when they see the graphs. So I'm hoping that somebody would like to do it. If nobody does it, then one of us will have to do it. So we'll give the viewer membership an opportunity first and see who might want to step up and do that.
And I'm going to one up it a little bit. I want to see somebody who hasn't done a presentation yet. That's what I want to see. I want to see somebody new, somebody who's out there that wants to learn and do it. And you know, and listen, none of us are PhD perfectionists. When none of us are, you know, we know how to play with the numbers and we know how to do it. But I'd like to see somebody, you know, maybe we can even get Craig coming on to do it, you know, to do it. but we'll see. I mean, thank you, Dylan. Dylan said, Dylan, let's go, man. I'm done waiting for you. You know, there's only so much that you can build things up until it just becomes a letdown. So you got to come on now. So, you know, let's go.
As I say, this forum is definitely a two-way street here, because as much as we like to be able to talk about it, and once again, we all learn, right? I mean, we all learn from stuff. So having the members participate, I really would encourage it, because believe me, you'll feel real comfortable talking about stuff. And as I said, we'll start asking questions and you'll learn as well. So, I mean, it's something, don't be bashful about doing presentations, because it's real simple. And as I said, if you need help, any of us will definitely give you some assistance.
Yep, absolutely. And you know, not for nothing, you know, as we close out the show, if you're not on the Discord channel, go get on it, because there's a lot of people on there that would be happy to help you out, or the conversation's great, or if you have a question, you know, you're going to get an answer. We have 118 people on the Discord channel now. And you know what? I'm going to be putting all the stuff for NEEF on there and all that kind of stuff. If you want to know what's going on with AstroWorld, you know, quickly, and not have to wait for the live show, get on the Discord channel, because we're going to be doing a schedule for AstroWorld Table. We're going to be doing raffles. We're going to be doing giveaways. We're going to be doing interviews. We're going to be doing a whole bunch of stuff. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I don't want to say anything, but I'm working on something for the group pick. So it may happen. It may not. I don't want to say anything until I'm sure, but I'm going to try and get something done. But it's going to be cool if it happens. But all the vendors and all the old speakers and everything are going to be there, you know, so it's going to be pretty cool. So get on the Discord channel. If you like what we do, again, please, I know Eric talks about it all the time, smash that like button. Let them know that you like what we're doing. Hit it, and just hit it once. Don't hit it twice. It takes it away. But hit that like button. And if you really like what we're doing, feel free to go over to our Patreon page at Patreon at AstroWorld TV and support us there. So, hey, you know, all that stuff from Patreon, paid for NEEF, you know, that allows us to do that kind of thing. And do more giveaways and do more stuff. So it allows us to do that. So we don't have to pay for it out of pocket. And it just helps gather some funds so we can do all this fun stuff for the membership. And that's what we're doing it for. We're not doing it for anything else but to hang out with, you know, with you guys and the membership. So it's going to be a great experience. It's my first NEEF as a table person. I mean, I've been doing it for the past 15 years and the last 8 as a member of Camera Concepts. but it's the first one that we got our own. We have our own table. We're that big. We have our own table now, and it's pretty freaking cool. So, yep. So and it's just I'm going to use one of Pete's words. It's just a testament to the membership and the co-hosts and everybody that's been a part of it from the beginning that made this what it is now. So that is cool. Thank you, Dylan. Come on up, say hi, take a picture, be involved in the group picture, get the schedule for Neve when it comes out probably next weekend. So it's going to be cool. So anybody else got anything? think I'm done.
Yeah, I think that's a good show. Good show, guys.
All right.
Great presentation too, by the way, Dan.
You know what?
Very nice job.
Every time I do that presentation, I never friggin' finish it. Next time I do that presentation, I'm gonna work from the last slide first because I had about 12 slides that went into, Pete would have loved it because it's all about calculations, focal ratio calculations, resolving power, all this kind of stuff. And I never get there. I only get through the 3 scopes. That's all I get through.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right, everybody. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you for watching. And again, have a good weekend. Eric, again, I'm sure I'm echoing everybody's sentiment on a wonderful recovery and a speedy one as well. So glad you're feeling better. And again, hopefully everything's back to normal. Say hi to Robin and the fam over there.
For sure.
Absolutely.
We're gonna get back to normal. It's gonna take a little time, but we're all getting back to normal.
Oh yeah. It does. It definitely does. But all right, everybody. Next Wednesday we have Richard Wright with us with his recap of Winter Star Party. So don't miss that. He's got some really cool pics, and you're gonna hate if you missed Winter Star Party because the pictures and the events that he's gonna show is gonna make you want to go next February. So everybody have a good night. Take care. Have a good and safe weekend. And remember, as always, keep imaging, keep educating, and clear skies. And we'll see you Wednesday night. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Have a great weekend.